Hello again. Welcome to Hot Moms. This week we are on Ben 5. All right, so these are some of my favorite meals. We got 4 meals this week. We're starting with Reuben's. The Reuben sandwich is going to be served with some potato salad, homemade potato salad. Next, we're going to move on to a pineapple glazed chicken and vegetables over rice with egg rolls. And then we're going to have patty melts with caramelized onions, rye bread, and Swiss cheese. And that's going to be served with the homemade potato salad as well. And then the last meal, meal 4, we're going to make a Southwestern corn tortilla casserole. The casserole is going to have chicken and black beans in it, wrapped up in the corn tortillas, smothered in the sour cream sauce, topped with avocados. Delicious. Okay, and then we're going to serve that with Mexican rice, chips, and salsa. All right, so we've got some cooking to do, so let's get going. All right, so we're going to start by making our potato salad. We're making one big batch of homemade potato salad that we're going to serve for meal 1 and for meal 3. So to make homemade potato salad, you know me, I'm not going to peel them. Why peel them? Make sure that you wash them off in some warm water to get all the loose soil, everything off the potatoes. Also, always just buy a bag of russet potatoes, you know, that's the cheapest route, the best way to go here. They'll last a long time. If you're not getting to them fast enough, just make sure you put them in the refrigerator so that they will last a little bit longer for you. You want them to be fairly bite-sized pieces, okay? So you don't want them too big. You don't want them too small. I'm going to dice all these up. Now when I get the potatoes all diced, I'm going to get them boiling in some heavily salted water that I've already got up to a boil. Right, so I'm going to make our potato salad right now. I got our potatoes that just came down. I rinsed them with some cold water, popped them in the fridge just to cool as fast as I could. I've got some red onion here, nice small dice on that. I've got celery, mayonnaise, Dijon, sweet pickle relish, and a touch of salt and pepper. I'm going to add all my ingredients to that and then season it with a little bit of dill and celery seed. So you want to go ahead and give that a taste, and if it's done, pop it back into the fridge to finish cooling while we'll make our Reuben sandwiches. All right, so now we're going to assemble our Reuben. So what we're going to do is just going to lightly butter some rye bread. We're going to put those down here on our sheet pan. We're just going to bake these in the oven. So now we're going to do the same thing basically for our patty melts when we get to that. So just some softened butter. Butter side down on the pans. We want to go ahead and put some Swiss cheese on there. I'm just going to make a couple sandwiches here. Obviously, you're going to be making 4, so you're going to have 8 pieces of bread. Then in the pan over here, I'm going to saute my corned beef, turkey pastrami, and the sauerkraut. Remember, in our second bin, we had a half can of sauerkraut. We put that in the freezer and we saved that for this bin. So you'll want to make sure you have that pulled out of the refrigerator and thawing so you can make your Reubens with it. But it saves you having to buy another can of sauerkraut. Also, on the deli meats, I like to cut the corned beef with some turkey pastrami. Turkey pastrami is usually half to even a third of the price of the corned beef. So I do about 50-50 on that. That way you can save money. Sometimes the corned beef can be like $10.99 a pound. So turkey pastrami is always a little bit cheaper. We're going to saute that off in this pan while our sandwiches are in the oven. So our bread just came out of the oven. We've got that over here. We're going to spread a little bit of Thousand Island on here. Then we're gonna spoon on our corned beef, turkey pastrami, sauerkraut mix. Close that sandwich up. Now that's a sandwich. There you have meal one, our Reuben sandwiches with homemade potato salad. All right, so now we're gonna start on our Asian meal here. This is our pineapple glazed chicken. First thing I did, I got the rice going for it. Now I'm gonna start sauteing all the vegetables. I got everything pre-cut here, ready to go. I'm gonna start with a little bit of oil in my pan. This is a hot pan. We're gonna do this really quickly, okay? Onions and celery are gonna go in. I'm gonna sprinkle with a little bit of salt and pepper at each interval here. We got our peppers here. After our chicken is pretty much cooked around on all the surface area, we're going to start adding in the sauce, rice wine vinegar in here. I strained my pineapple, and in here I saved the juice. I added it in to here, and also with the pineapple juice, I've got some sweet and sour sauce in here, and I had some peanut sauce, so I added that in as well. You can just do sweet and sour. The peanut sauce will give it a little bit of kick though. Now while this is simmering, you just want to fry your egg rolls. Deep fat fire already plugged in. We're going to drop those in. Right before it's done, we're going to toss our pineapple in. And we're gonna serve this over rice, and we can sprinkle some chopped peanuts and some chopped green onions on top. And here we have meal 2 on bin 5. This is our pineapple glazed chicken and vegetables over rice with egg rolls and sweet and sour sauce. Meal 2, bin 5. All right, so now we're starting meal 3 in bin 5. We're going to start with a little bit of oil. We're going to caramelize our onions. We're making our patty melts. Patty melts with caramelized onions and our homemade potato salad. We're going to start it out really high, but as they cook, we probably will be turning the temperature down a little bit as they go. They'll take a couple minutes to get there to soften up. While the onions are working, we're going to start cooking our hamburger patties as well. I took the pound of ground beef and I just formed the 4 burger patties with that. And I'm just going to start cooking those off in this pan. Okay, so now we're just going to finish up our patty melts here. We have our bread that we cooked off in the oven, just like we did for the Reubens. I have the onions that we caramelized here. Let's spread some of those out here. We're going to put on our hamburger patty. I started those on top of the stove, cooked them on both sides, and I just finished them in the oven. Then we have our potato salad that we had made earlier in the week. And we're just going to serve the patty melt with some of that potato salad. Patty melts with caramelized onion, rye bread, Swiss cheese, and homemade potato salad. Meal 3, bin 5. Next, we're going to start on meal 4 in bin 5. That's our Southwestern chicken tortilla casserole. We're going to serve it with Mexican rice and chips and salsa. We're going to start this meal with our pan getting hot here. We're also going to wrap up our tortillas. We're just going to place them in some foil. Just make a little foil pack in there. We're going to pop them in the oven. That way they're warming them up, making them pliable for when we fill them with our filling. And take some oil. We'll start sauteing our vegetables. We got our onions here. Did some peppers here just because I already had them. So I figured why not just throw some in here. You don't have to put the peppers in there if you don't want, but we're definitely going to start with sauteing our onions. We're going to get all this working. This is for our filling. We're going to throw in the chicken after a bit and let it cook as well. This with some more salt, pepper, and some cumin. Remember, we're going to freeze half of these baked beans. We'll just save them from another meal, just like we did with the sauerkraut in this one. We don't need the whole can, so I might as well just pop it in the freezer, save it for the next time you need them. And we're going to add a little bit of our salsa here. Just let that simmer down for a bit. Make sure all your chicken's cooked, and then we'll start stuffing our tortillas for the casserole. In the back here, I've got the sour cream started, and I'm going to add in the soup. We're going to melt all this together. This is going to be for our sauce that we're going to smother these tortillas in. I've also got a jar of chilies and our ½ cup of milk. Okay, so we have our filling for our tortillas. We're going to start rolling those. A little of our filling in there. We're going to roll them up. We're going to start spreading them out in the pan. When they're done, we're going to dump our hot sauce on top and sprinkle with cheese, and we're going to bake this. All right, so when you've got all your tortillas rolled, you're going to spread the sauce on top, the hot sauce. Now that's going to go in the oven to bake. While that's baking, we're going to prepare some Mexican rice just according to the package directions. Now that is a masterpiece. That is our Southwestern chicken tortilla casserole served with Mexican rice, chips, and salsa. This is meal 4 on bin 5. All right, so thanks for joining me. Bin 5. We started this one with our Reubens. We made our Reubens corned beef turkey pastrami on rye, Swiss cheese, and we served that with homemade potato salad. We made enough that we could have it for 2 meals this week. Our next meal was our pineapple glazed chicken and vegetables over rice with the egg rolls, sweet and sour sauce. Garnish it with some chopped peanuts if you have them. Our third meal were our patty melts with caramelized onions on rye with Swiss cheese as well. The hamburger patties served with the homemade potato salad that we made for our first meal. And then our last meal was our Southwestern chicken tortilla casserole. That casserole, we're going to serve it with Mexican rice and then a plate full of chips and salsa. There you have bin 5. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.